Hello, hello. It is Wednesday. It is noon. It is time for our live stream. All right. Wow. I hope you all had a great holiday weekend. And I bring the holiday weekend up because for those of you with the JOB, it's time for a little bit of respite. For those of us with businesses, it's time for a little bit of respite and relaxation. And it's a time to just really sink into having a moment where we're enjoying life, right? To just be, whether that's with family, if we're on vacation, to be with family, to be with ourselves, um, to have some fun, some excitement. And you know that being able to enjoy what we're creating and to have that fun and excitement is one of the things that lends to great energies when we're looking to pull wealth and abundance into our lives. I had another topic I wanted to talk about today, but I heard something this morning that it really pinged for me. It really pinged for me, and it has to do with money and wealth and abundance and deserving and receiving. And I thought, you know what, this really does tie back into creating and building a successful business. We have this balance, right, between attracting, working through, law of receiving, reciprocity, cause and effect, all of these things as we want to grow and expand as humans, as people, but also as we want to expand in our business. And we have to marry that. I talked about this last week. I believe if it wasn't last week, it was on yesterday's podcast episode. So I'll drop the link in the comments for the podcast episode. I'll drop the link for the video on YouTube as well as the website. We have to marry that with the action. Now, for those of you who might be new to me, listening over on LinkedIn, YouTube, my name's Penny Chason. I'm a board certified hypnotist. I wasn't always a hypnotist. I was in healthcare for 25 years before I transitioned from being a six-figure employee into a full-time business owner. And a lot of what I share is not only the things I bumped up against when it comes to money, having great cash flow in the business, having the mindset to up level my business, but also the things that I see that the people I've worked with have dealt with. So what led to this change in topic for today? Well, I was listening. One of the things I do to feed my soul is I will listen to Abraham Hicks or videos like that on YouTube a lot of mornings when I am getting ready to get my day started. It's just a part of my process. And sometimes it's not active listening, it's passive listening. And today I was passively listening while I was doing something else. And Abraham said something, and it immediately brought back a spontaneous experience of when I was much younger and when I was in church. Now, I'm not knocking church. I grew up Christian. I grew up in the Baptist church. However, I do have many disagreements with the way things are taught in church because as a hypnotist, I've learned that words are so important and that when we are in a state of prayer, we are in a state of programming our mind. When we are in a state of rapt attention, like you are when you're receiving a sermon or a politician is giving a speech, someone you look up to, it doesn't matter who it is, when we're in that state of rapt attention, we're basically in a light state of hypnosis. So what Abraham said was that it's something about you humans that you believe you must suffer to receive what you want. And you can never receive what you want if you're suffering. And it flashed me back to, I can see it in my mind. That's called a spontaneous regression. I can see it in my mind as if I was there all over again, sitting in church and hearing the minister talk about that it's okay to suffer, that, because we're just lowly humans, that we will be rewarded for our suffering. We will be rewarded for our suffering with riches in heaven. In other words, the message that I received subconsciously, I wasn't consciously aware of this until this happened, because money stories have many facets. And it became instantly aware of me that subconsciously I have been carrying this imprint that it's about suffering here and the reward comes later. Now, how can that show up in business? This is just one example. I could come up with 1,000 examples for you, but this is just one example. How is this going to show up in your business? Well, one, we can get the subconscious message that we're not meant to have more. We can consciously believe that we deserve more and that more is possible for us, but subconsciously there's something going, no, that's not for us. That's not the way this works, right? If we are in line with everything that we were brought up, because the other thing that I was taught, I grew up in churches that taught hellfire and brimstone. So we're not going to go down that whole road. That's not what this is about. But what we can do is we associate suffering subconsciously. Again, subconsciously, we're not aware of it. That iceberg, it's underneath the surface. We associate suffering with being good. We associate suffering with doing it right. Now, you might think, well, somebody who's making 7 figures in their business or multi 6 figures, they're not suffering. Well, we really don't know that, right? Are they feeling guilty that they're successful and that their success is growing? Do they constantly wage a battle in their mind, right, of having to tamp down this inner voice of, no, you deserve this, you can have this? And so it creates that internal tension and stress. Do they believe that their family, and this could happen for any of us, this happens for people who are building a business and start to become successful. It goes back to that whole thing of, what will people think of me? People are going to judge me. Am I good enough to have it? Am I being greedy if I do have it? Right? And what we can do is we end up, people use the word self-sabotage. I don't like that word. The part of us that truly believes that subconscious pattern, like if that perception got reinforced time and again, there is a part of us deep inside that could truly believe that in order to be a good person, that we have to suffer, that money can't be easy, that success can't be easy. Our parents worked so hard, our grandparents worked so hard. Who are we for it to be easy for us? So then that's where this protective mechanism comes in. People call it self-sabotage. It's a protective mechanism. There's some part of us that comes in and says, hey, you know what? This is uncomfortable. We might not be perceived. We might not be perceived as good. We need to change this. And what will happen is you can end up getting into busyness. You're overcommitting. You're doing things that you don't need to do. Maybe you start overspending the money. So yes, the business is very successful. However, you are overspending in the business and you're no more profitable today at multi 7 figures than you were at 7 figures. So what I'm sharing is that it can look like a lot of different things. Another thing that can come into that is this worthiness of receiving, right? And whether or not it's okay on a much deeper level for us to receive wealth, for us to receive abundance, for us to have this come in and for it to be easy. I see this with the hustle and grind culture, right? A lot of people are into the hustle and grind. It can't be easy. Everything is more complex than it needs to be. That can all go back to hearing these stories, being exposed to the idea that you have to work hard, that you have to work hard for money. You don't have to work hard. Yes, we have to put in action, but we don't have to work hard to have wealth. There is a way to do it streamlined. There is a way to make it simple. And honestly, does that mean that every day you're going to want to show up and do it? No. But it can be streamlined and it can be simple. Business can be as simple or as complex as we want it. And if we have this story that we have to suffer to receive the rewards, right? It can look like working hard. It can work like denying yourself. Maybe you are creating a lot of wealth, but it can look like you not enjoying your life because it's wrong, right? Deep subconscious, it's wrong to enjoy life if you have that money. So I wanted to bring this into you so that you can explore where you might have picked up perceptions that ended up being sticky and influence your subconscious decision making. We do make conscious choices, but that conscious choice is weighed subconsciously against past perceptions. The Max Planck Institute did research and it showed that we're given a set of binary choices. The subconscious mind makes the decision an average of 7 seconds before the conscious mind. And a team of researchers over in Australia repeated that experiment because all good research is reproducible in its results. They repeated the research and their findings were 11 seconds, right? A good example of that is to think about when you're with your partner and it's like, hey, do you want to go out for dinner? Yeah. What do you want? Well, I don't know. What do you want? And you start going back and forth around the decision, and the ultimate decision that you make is going to be based on the way that you emotionally feel about where you want to go, or how you feel about whether or not you want to bring your partner happiness, which is to give in to what it is that they want. And then their choice, they're going to be leaning into what they're feeling. And those feelings come from the processes of our memories, our anticipations, our emotions, and the desired state that we want to move into. So what I want to share with you today, finally, it's taken a while. Amplify Success is available for you. If you're wanting to build more confidence into your life, I have basically put my entire process down into step-by-step videos that you can go through over and over and over again to build the habit of awareness and intentional thinking around the things that are coming up and how to reprogram those to your desired state in your mind. I put the link in the description, but I wanted to let you know that that is available because I know a few weeks ago I was asking who wants more confidence, and then we had some tech snafus and it just got put on the back burner to get that out. So that is now out and available. And I believe Sammy is in this group. I want to congratulate Sammy. She won one of my master classes. I ran a contest at the end of last month. Go follow me on Instagram, leave a comment, and everybody who did, their name went into a hat. And Sammy chose the Activate Masterclass. So congratulations, Sammy. And remember, if you have any questions for me, if you want to book an identity snapshot call, it's a 15-minute call where we basically just look at where you are and what's going on, and I point you in a direction that would be beneficial to you. Just DM me the word identity and I will share with you the link to set that up. Otherwise, I will see you next week. for this next call. Really looking forward to it. There are a lot of great things happening behind the scenes, and I'm really excited to share them all with you because it's just every day is good and every day is getting better and better. So, all right. Again, DM me identity if you're in the Facebook group. If you're on YouTube or you're on LinkedIn, if you're on LinkedIn, DM me there. If you're on YouTube, you can find me on Instagram at penny.chason. Send me a DM over on Instagram and I will see you all.